Welcome to Detroit Comics Party, episode 43. We are here today with Tim Schumack.
Hello.
Tim, thank you very much for joining us today.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You look wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
What are you wearing today? This is lovely.
I'm wearing a leather skirt with a comfy sweater. It's obvious that's what I'm wearing, but that's what I decided to do. I worked all day, and then I came here. So I was just like,
you worked all day picking the outfit.
I did. Okay. I was just got up, and I was just like, how am I gonna do this? Usually people wear clothes all the time, but normally I'm like a nudist. But I was like, whatever. I'll do this one justice of wearing an outfit today. No, I was just the idea of transitioning from work to the nightlife.
Yeah. So the idea of trying to discover something that could be transitioned from your life in the day. Into
It's just why would you wear something and then have to go change? Just if you're going to be out, then just be out all day. That's how I roll.
I picture that vein of fashion involving a lot of flaps or reversing.
But I think that's my theory of dressing myself, but it ends up where I just put the uniform on, and it's the black Dickies, and it's the stupid boots, and it's I never have any flair or cool looks. It's always just oh, it's the guy who wears a band T-shirt, you know?
See, but I feel that's kind of a nice release where you're not necessarily thinking about, you know exactly what you're offering.
Right.
But I don't know. For me, it's I always want some type of surprise, and maybe it's just personal, but no one else is gonna be that's a sweet sweater. Maybe I'm the only one that cares, and I guess that's what fashion is. It's or style. It's just
you want to feel good.
You want to feel good, so you wear things that accentuate who you are as a person, and even if I don't say anything, I want someone to be interesting choice, or that's a great choice
in their head.
Or Interesting. I was just actually, could you just not say that? Interesting choice.
Say that out loud.
Yeah. So, but I'm really comfortable, and I think it highlights everything that I am.
That's cool. So who you are? You are a stylist, right?
Yes.
A personal stylist.
Yes.
As well as you sell fine clothing and
I do. So I work for a company called Detroit New Black. We specialize in a streetwear brand, so your classic T-shirts, sweaters, but then we also curate about 10 to 13 brands, which are a little bit more high end, if you will.
Are they all local, or
most of them are local, or they have a Detroit connection. So I've been doing that for the last year and a half. I've kind of submerged myself into the retail of the city, which I find fascinating because I've only been in it for 4 years, as in retail. So, yeah, it's been an interesting journey and just self-discovery of what I like and what I don't like. But interesting how most retailers just start with a basic T-shirt, and then go from there. So it's interesting being.
It's the foundation.
It's the foundation. It's if we can sell a T-shirt, we can do anything. But it's kind of true though.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a good T-shirt.
Have you seen a trajectory of different businesses, some that didn't quite make it through the T-shirt phase, and others that have been around longer and now they have multiple T-shirts?
Right. I mean, I think it's just I don't know. It's interesting the reason why people like T-shirts. I have way too many T-shirts in my closet, and I'm always just why am I holding on to this? And it's just but it's so good. Or you have this connection to the place that you got it from, and I can't really be that's a horrible idea. It's you wanted to put on a T-shirt and you did. During high school, I used to wear these T-shirts from this place called randomtshirts.com. It was just home of the $10 tee. You could buy a T-shirt, and it was just had this random saying on it.
Do you still have those?
Oh my gosh, I bought 17. So I just cut them into patches. So I now just have them in my attic and just
That's good.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Phase 2 of every
Phase 2,
t-shirt
you know?
is to become a patch.
Become a patch, you know, adulthood. You know, patch game is strong. So, I mean, how do you feel about personal style, or just because I like that print, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't know. I have a similar, just like the way a bug like goes towards the light or away from a light. It's just like if I go in front of it and it makes me feel happy or good, like I try to trust that instinct, even if it's like something real weird that doesn't really make sense. Like I'm trying to just this is good. We'll try it out. Yeah.
I always say, like, I mean, that's great. Like, you're always willing to try.
Yeah, and I think like also like accepting suggestions from other people a little bit more too, because like I have a tendency to just be like, no, this is what I like. If anyone tells me something different, they're trying to change my life or something, you know. But it's like, I don't know. I like to get other people's input and you know, try something that maybe you've never tried before. I think is a good thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like trusting people with like something that's personal and subjective, because like trends, like I'm always just like, I'm confused, or like why, or like this is gonna be over. So it's just like, where do we go from here? It's just like, do you know me? I'm putting my wardrobe in your hands, and I feel like full circle, being a stylist, you kind of are breaking into people's psychology of their wardrobe and how they feel about themselves. It's interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you so how does it work? Like you do that for people.
Yeah.
How do they find you through, like you just start talking at the store, or you do it on the side, or what?
Yeah.
How does it work?
It's kind of like a touch and go situation. And it depends on, so I did, I styled Grand Circus magazine, their fashion editorial. I got passed from a friend who could pass it to me, and I like jumped at the opportunity. I was like, okay, cool. I haven't done this. And then it kind of networks. It's just like, you don't want to like force yourself, like Mary Poppins style, like show up like, I'm here to style your wardrobe.
And I won't leave
until it's done.
Until everyone is styled.
But you just have to, it's kind of like, somewhat like a first date in a way, where you're just like, you don't really know the person, but you've kind of gathered some things about them, and they've kind of asked you, or they're like, I'm here with my style, and this is where I want to go. And then what I would like to do is like kind of look at their wardrobe and assess what they already have, versus like being like, oh, you need to get rid of everything and then go shopping. Because I feel most of the joy is like really knowing exactly what you have and then figuring out the pieces that you don't have. And that's where I have so much fun. I just got weird. I'm just like, so much fun. But picking out pieces is key. It's not about the quantity. It's about those exact pieces that you can kind of rotate. And that's kind of what the skirt can rotate, the sweater, put on a blazer. It's like simple, like it's like a puzzle piece.
Yeah. So do you try to, like, if you're making a new look for someone, do you try to incorporate some of their existing wardrobe into it so that they feel a little bit
absolutely
like, included?
You don't want to just push
like
them into the deep end and be like, we're friends, and I have these heels for you. I know you never wear heels, so like, but we're gonna go out on a limb. No,
you're grunge now.
You're grunge now. Accept it. I said so. It's like, that's not how it goes.
Go get the sandpaper.
You want people to feel comfortable. You know, so you like, but you also want to challenge people.
You just start sanding them a little bit.
Just a little bit, just enough. You know, nothing too dangerous, nothing like that you need to be sent to the hospital for. So, but yeah, that's
why you're doing this and not me.
Yeah, you know, but I can't sew for my life. Just like side note to anyone out there.
Oh yeah.
Like I cannot sew. I can sew like stuffed animals, and that's about it.
I just always assume anybody who's wearing cool clothes all the time knows how to sew.
No, if you have a good tailor.
You get somebody else who knows how to sew.
Right. Yeah. So.
That's cool. Do you get a lot of like custom things made, or are you just getting things tailored? Or
personally, I just shop in the women's section. It's still cool to do that, and so it's just like I feel like for me, for style, it's just like, oh, I never find exciting things in the men's, so I'm always just like looking for fun prints and sometimes you just have to remove a shoulder pad or two and. Boom, new shirt, and it fits perfectly. Or if you're like wearing a sweater, you can like hide the darts if there are any. So yeah.
What is darts?
They're like for when
Oh.
they accentuate.
It's like where you fold the fabric like this, and then you tack it. Yeah. If you look at in Silence of the Lambs, when they show where the skin was cut out, that's the shape of what a dart is.
Yes. That's your explanation of what that is. When you're removing flesh from a human body.
Perfect. Yeah, that's actually what I preface.
I get that.
Anytime that I have a consult.
Thank you.
I say that every time I consult someone. I'm like, so it's like removing flesh. That's how I start. And normally if they can go with that, then we're good.
You know it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So do you do a lot of shopping in like vintage, or are you always looking for new stuff, or both? Is it a combination?
I think it's a combination. For me, like personally, I love thrifting. I've been doing it since like I could buy my own clothes, and that was like, I was like, Mom, I need to buy my own clothes. And she was like, okay, to the thrift store you go. I was like, perfect. So I find more fun, it's a little bit more exciting, more of an adventure. And some people don't have the patience for it. But it's just like, you can't, it's just like, it's a toss up. Because we were talking earlier, that sequin number, I purchased that online, so.
That is fantastic.
Yes. But so like there are some things that you're just like, like I really want this in my wardrobe, and then you're just like, okay, I'll splurge.
I can identify with that, where it's like most of the stuff is thrift, and some of it is low cost retail.
Totally.
But then when you see the thing that's real crazy and is real exciting, then you haven't spent all your money on clothes up until that point, and then you could blow it on that one cool thing.
Right.
But that's the balance strategy. That's the balance, and that's where what taste is, right? Or that's what having a diversified wardrobe would be, where you've got like the baller, out of control, like big brand item.
Yeah.
But then it's fortified by a strong foundation of like thrifting really hard.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I think that's important.
I feel like it's like easier to kind of let go of things if you thrift it, because it's already been in this cycle, you know, God knows how long, and then you only bought it for $4. So if you get tired of it, you're just like, I don't feel as like, where did my money go? It's just like, well,
it's like hunting instead of going to the grocery store for me. It's like, you see the whole cycle. You're in the circle of life, and you know that it'll just come back to you. If you ever want it, you'll find something else.
You'll find something else.
Back into the system.
Yeah. So I think that, like, especially for finding like prints and stuff like that, you're just like, if I get something with prints, I'm more willing to let it go if I get tired of the print. So it's interesting. It's so much fun for me, and it's interesting how people approach style and approach fashion, because I feel like style is more being selective about material and texture, and fashion I feel is very like, I'm going to make something and then I'm going to sell it to the masses in some type of form. But maybe that's just my theology.
Do you go further than the styling for a client sometimes into like, train me, where you try to teach people how to look for things, or is that just a part of it already?
I think that's like it's basically like having a conversation, except that now you're just having about like what you're wearing, and just being, I guess, conscious of what goes together, and not being like always trying to find something that's exciting. Because like I don't want to be this older person that all of a sudden just like gives up and just like, yeah, I'm gonna wear these shoes and I'm gonna wear this sweater. But like maybe that works for someone, you know. But I think it's just like it shows personality and just like what you're about. It's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of good things out there. So
do you look at it as personal expression primarily? Like this is kind of art that you're wearing, or like a way to start some kind of conversation, or? Yeah.
I think so. The graphic tee that I had, or the graphic tees, sorry, like I was
the 17.
The 17. I wore them in high school, and I was already somewhat nerdy as a kid, so it was just like a nice way to people be like pointing at your shirt, and you're like, "What is that?" You're just like, "That doesn't make sense." You're just like, "Yeah, it doesn't," but now we're having a conversation.
Yeah. So
I think that translates into anything else that you do. You're just like, people are always watching and observing. And I don't know, it's easy to be like, love your shoes. And then you can kind of build that foundation of like, hey, I see you at this place, or I don't know, it's a nice expression. And I guess like if you're looking at branding, like it kind of makes sense of like what people do, or you're not making assumptions about people, but you're just like, okay, this is the facet of life that you're running in. Okay, cool.
Yeah, to kind of understand what they are interested in, and like what they would enjoy.
Yeah.
And
so, yeah.
What are the things that you would ask someone aside from like looking at what they already have? Like,
well, you like, I think I was like, that was like the sigh of the ages, like, let me explain. This,
or is it like, yes?
No, it is. I think it's different for each person, and you want to have that person feel confident about like the clothing that they're putting on, and the like. So you talk about color, you talk about like texture, and you talk about building an outfit, and you talk about like, you know, sometimes like some people like all their buttons, or you should probably just button two because you look too stuffy. Like, so it's just like these personal things that you're telling someone else. So you're basically just guiding them. I don't know. It's a lot of fun because you can just watch like the finished product, or when you see people like starting to like get the wheels turning. Yeah.
Do you ever end up in like a situation where you're doing what the person really wants or the client really wants, but you are like, oh, I don't like this?
So the funny thing about that, the fashion editorial was John Varvatos, and I've always seen John Varvatos as like kind of just like this rocker vibe, and it's something completely different from my aesthetic. So going into this, I was just like, how is this gonna work? Because there's like something that you want to like, there's some creative integrity that you want to have, and there's also this thing that the client wants, and you're just like, what? We have a lot of work to do, but it was good. You just figure out like, give them exactly what they want, and then hands off, you know, like my hands are clean, like, you know, you just do the job. Like sometimes it's just it's kind of like high school where you just won't be friends with someone afterwards, you know, you're just like, we spent this time together and now bye. That's you can't force people to feel good about themselves. Like,
you can try.
You feel good about yourself.
Maybe some people need that pep talk.
It's true.
It would never work.
To feel good.
It would never work.
So.
We were talking about doing some. I think we were imagining publishing a book that we've been calling a fashion magazine, but it would probably be something different or more like experimental photography, coffee table book probably. But where we know a bunch of people who make a bunch of independent publishers and a bunch of weird zine people.
Yes.
And it's a bunch of like very punk rock, very like borderline gutter punk look.
Yeah.
But we would want to take the photos that were like extreme gowns and very put together and much production and makeup and
Totally.
And do these like high fashion spreads, but with people who in all other media at all other times were very much the like combat boots and like patched together studs look. And is that a cliche thing to like flip it totally opposite?
No.
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 Still works a little.
It still works. I mean, I think it's just like you just have to own it. Like, and that's like cliche. It's like you just have to own it. Like, da da da. You know? But it's just like if you feel good about it, then that's the first place to start. I don't know. But
we feel good about dressing up other people.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Why do you like kids play with dolls like growing up and like you're building a foundation of like your identity, and you're letting that show to other people. So I don't know. There's no like answer. Like some people just want answers, and you're like, this is an open-ended like situation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the quality of it. I'm sorry, am I cutting you off?
No.
That's.
We're like at Japanese levels of politeness.
I know.
A lot of times here, like we're always just waiting for the next person to talk. Sorry, I derailed the shit out of that.
Doesn't matter. It probably wasn't anything meaningful. I don't remember what I was saying.
Well, I'm gonna just take a sip of water.
Let's all have some water.
Yeah.
I'm hot now.
I don't know. I don't remember. Let's have a new topic.
Okay,
What's the
let's
other thing we wanted to mention?
Let's have it. What did we not talk about that you wanted to talk about? Anything?
Music.
Yeah, let's talk about
music. So I kind of, I don't know. So I'm working on a new project. I released a project in March called I See Clear Skies. It was my intro EP, which I was really excited about. It was just like singer-songwriter style, like keys, and then I had like live instruments, like strings and live drums. It was really like this kind of passion project that I worked on for 4 years. But this new project that I'll be working on is more dance-centric, more pop melodies of just like, this is what it is. There's nothing to be like, wait, what does this all mean? what does life mean?
It's fun.
But it's basically just kind of an expression of my experience so far in the creative community and dance scene in the city, and I'm really excited about that. Just to be able to work on a project that's surrounded by dance and just kind of how people like feel on a dance floor and kind of all these like different emotions of like, you know, getting dressed up or like sweating so much that you're just like, why did I wear this, you know? And it's just like about the people that I've met, because I feel like that's actually how I've met most of the creative beings that I know is via the dance floor so many times, and then I see them like at the grocery store. I'm like, hey, you, okay. Like you're a real person. Because I feel like when you're in like a dance floor scenario, it's just like time is a little bit different, you know, in a way.
And you're like changing the slide of people like really quickly a lot of times. Like this person,
right.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're all in one space at one time, and then you see people in like their day to day. And so that's what the project's about.
That's cool. Well, you have a very nice voice, singing voice.
Thank you.
And normal voice. It's talking voice.
I'll just sing the rest of this interview. me. Yeah.
So are you doing, like, do you write all the music? Do you produce all the instrumental pieces too? Or are you working with anybody else?
So this past project, I worked with a friend, and he produced it, and it was interesting because that was like my first experience, like just like taking what I had written and then give it to someone else and like go through it from like ground up, and like understanding that process of how to communicate the feelings that I wrote like 4 years ago. And it was like, how do we keep the integrity of this and also make it fresh and new, and also figure out a way to let people know that I do music, because I always was like, yeah, I do music, and like I'm working on this project. Nobody saw anything. Everyone knew that I like played like piano, and that was about it. But then I released the project, and it was like, okay, I have like some foundation.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just on SoundCloud, so there's no.
That's still this. That's good. That's awesome.
No physical copy, but it feels good to finally like release that. But I do enjoy collaboration and figuring that out, because it's just like, oh, I offer this, so like how like, and someone else offers something, so why not work together? So yeah.
Have you met a lot of those people in the same way, where it's like just this dance, like you just like really tumbled onto these people like accidentally, kind of like, and met them and found out what they did?
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to say that I'm a great dancer, but I can cut a rug pretty well, and that's kind of one of my favorite like projects is working with Flint Eastwood, and on occasion like on and off. Mm-hmm. It's just like that's how we met, just a New Year's Eve dance floor, and then a couple months later there was like hey, I'm working on this project, love for you to join. Like cool. Yeah, cool. And that's how it goes, I feel.
Yeah,
like it's nothing that I'm just out there in these streets. I don't know.
Well, we're out here of time now already. So
well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming out. With that wooden outro, we will say goodnight, and thank you for watching Detroit Comics Party. Have a good day.
Thanks.